A day of absolute high drama yesterday. It's almost impossible to try and keep track of all of the twists and turns in what turned out to be a tale that has really had no precedent in British politics before. We've seen prime ministers come and go. We've seen attempts to remove prime ministers, but none as long-lasting as what happened yesterday. Of course, cabinet ministers, junior ministers, parliamentary private secretaries and indeed even trade envoys expressing their discontent with government, going at such a rate in such numbers that it's going to be incredibly difficult for the Prime Minister to backfill all of these posts. Indeed, some suggestions, with a slight smile from people inside Number 10, that this is an opportunity to slim down government. To some extent, it seemed yesterday that what was going on in the minds of people running Number 10 was a parallel universe in terms of what was going on in the rest of Westminster. Seeing the Prime Minister sit there and sort of answer questions in a relatively normal way about defence policy and everything else at the time at which his ministers were resigning en masse was really quite peculiar. But it does seem that the Prime Minister is in bunker mentality. Holed up in Number 10, well, I should say the flat of Number 11, of course, where he actually lives behind me. This is a Prime Minister who is determined to stay the course and will not resign likely due to pressure or influence from anyone else. The only way to remove this Prime Minister is through the constitutional mechanisms of the Conservative Party. And of course, yesterday, one of the big twists and turns in this story is that the executive of the 1922 committee decided that now was not the time to change the rules to allow another confidence vote in the Prime Minister, that the earliest that could possibly happen is when the new executive of that committee is elected. Now, they sped up that process. The new executive will now not be elected on Wednesday, but on Monday. So that's the soonest, potentially, that things might move in that direction in terms of what Conservative MPs can do to dislodge the Prime Minister. And up until then, all they can do is plead with him.